welcome. I'm here with John Kindervag, whom I spoke to last year. He gave a very stimulating thought on the progress of the zero trust philosophy in the past year. And during your talk, you mentioned a particular type of poisonous or toxic data which you really need to protect, and it's data about people and about health and about payments, amongst other things. And I couldn't help noticing that that's exactly the type of data that you always put out in the open. And increasingly with health data, people want access online, they put it in their iPhone and iWatch. Why is it that your toxic data is the one which you have to put out in the open the most?
Well, I think the thing about the toxic data is that it's useful, and because it's useful, it can be monetized by attackers. So that's what makes it toxic, and people are trying to control it. So what we live in is a world where I want to use it when I want to use it, but I don't want other people to use it surreptitiously. And because the world isn't fair, and because all the actors that are involved in this aren't trustworthy, we end up in situations where people abuse that data. It's important to understand there's only three things you can do to a piece of data. You can use it, you can abuse it, or you can misuse it, right? So there's a lot of people who want to use data in positive ways for, say, healthcare. I mean, you're in an accident, you go to the emergency room, you're unconscious. Somebody could access that data and know whether you're allergic to a drug that if they gave it to you, it might kill you, right? That's a valuable use of that data. But that same data could be used against you, maybe to show that you have some health concern, and so maybe an employer doesn't want to insure you. Whatever those different reasons are, the same data point can be used in both good ways and bad ways. So what we have to do is figure out new ways for people to control their own usage of their data so that the right people get that data at the right time, but the wrong people don't ever get that data. And that's the challenge of the rest of the 21st century.
So, but when you say, you can say in general that data is important, but use or misuse that and the control of that and give persons control over that usage is what you're talking about.
Right, it's a challenge to give the right people the right control at the right time. And we see that even in say, your Facebook privacy settings.
How does this relate to the nude photographs of Jennifer Lawrence? You have a photograph, it's in the cloud or not. If you take the reasoning that, isn't it that you just as a person, I would like to be absolutely sure that nobody else than me accesses it. There's no modality there in use or abuse, but on Facebook I put it up, I want everybody to see it. So isn't it a Herculean task to try to figure out how to put those switches?
There's some things that philosophically conflict related to you want things to automatically be used the way you want them, but you haven't necessarily defined what those ways are for external people. And that's why I think we're going to have to see new technologies around, say, better cryptographic key management. If I encrypt my data before it goes to the iCloud, or if a celebrity encrypts their, shall we say, risque photographs before it goes to iCloud, if they hold the keys themselves and no one else holds the keys, then even if the attackers steal that raw data, they won't be able to see the actual photograph. And so that's why when we look at this from a zero trust perspective, we talk a lot about controlling access to data, but also killing the data, encrypting it or tokenizing it. And so some of the future technologies are going to be around new ways of managing the keys for encryption, or new ways of doing tokenization like we're seeing with Apple Pay.
With the current state of the art, is it already possible to decipher a photo, view it on my Apple and do that all within a reasonable time and not wait 1 minute and looking at a progress bar? Is it within reach?
Oh, I think it's definitely within reach. As I talk to experts in the area and I see some of the advancements that are happening from a research standpoint, I'm very hopeful that we'll have much more transparent cryptography that will allow us to look at whatever we want to look at on our device in as near real time as our brain can process it, and yet what we're actually looking at is really behind the scenes, totally encrypted.
Okay.
And that's doable. That's doable. And there's really some really interesting things happening that we'll be able to take advantage of in the near future.
If it's like the fourth or the fifth inning in the game against the hackers and malware, to close it up, where are we? And what's the score? Are we winning?
Well, we're behind, but we'll catch up, and then we'll go to extra innings, and they'll be ahead for a while, and then we'll catch up and go to extra innings, and they'll get ahead. And it's an adversarial business that we're in. That's what makes it fun. That's why we do it. It's fun to go in and try to do something that positively affects everybody. And that's what security people do on a daily basis.
Well, good. An optimistic John. That's good to see. Thanks very much for the
Thank
talk.
you.
Okay,
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.